The next session here at the fabricator stage is on-site quartz solutions, how to cut and identify and manage different quartzes. And yeah, with that, you want to get started?
Yeah, I'll get started if you guys are ready.
A couple quick things, don't forget to fill out your coverings card, $2,500 gift drawing that's going to happen on Friday. In the corner is the box. And thank you to our sponsors, isfanow.org and Rockhead. So with that, go ahead.
Yep, no problem. I'm Jim Callahan. I work with Quartz. I'm sure most of you are you guys fabricators or? Yep, okay, so you've heard of us, I hope. I'm going to talk about on-site quartz solutions, mostly blade technology today. But to start, just want to show some of the machinery we provide to the marketplace. We represent Farnese and miter. That's our miter saw, real popular seller. 1.5 foot piece is the smallest you can put in there. Can go up to 4 centimeter and cuts a perfect miter. And it's repeatable. That we've had machines on the field for more than 12 years, so the return on investment is really strong. Next saw is our entry-level bridge saw. It'll cut porcelain, quartz, granite. Guys are getting about 17 slabs in an 8-hour shift off that. It's not a 5-axis. And then our monoblock Technicuts, our 5-axis saw. It utilizes digital templating to make it more efficient and productive as a fabricator. You can download the drawings right from the field into the software and lay it out and set it up. Comes with the camera for taking pictures of the slabs. All right, so today we're going to talk about bridge saw blade technology. Obviously, the saw is only as good as the blades. Thanks for showing up, guys. You're a little late, but I won't hold that against you. Your saw is only as good as your blades, right? And there's so many materials out there today. It's a constant battle to educate the fabricators on what exact blade to use for what product. So I'm talking about the bonds here for the granite and quartz. So we do a medium bond. Can you guys hear me? A medium bond hardness, coarse, medium diamond segment, and it's a silent core. Our quartzite bond is soft bond hardness, coarse diamonds, and it's silent core to increase the rigidity of the blade. Porcelain, which is getting real popular, we use a soft bond hardness, higher graphite content, a finer diamond, and a solid core for noise reduction. And then with the marble bond, it's soft, medium, silent core. And then the miter blades is a solid core. And we get a lot of calls for what blade to use on a miter saw or cutting miters, because guys try to use their quartzite bonded blade for miters. You don't need it. So we have a lot of history. We've done a lot of testing, so I feel like we're in a position to be the experts in the marketplace for advising fabricators on which blade to use best. So different types of shops out there. Manual shops with track saws. Generally, they use higher. I'm about with this. I got a loud voice. My wife tells me so.
I need for recording, please. Thank you.
Oh, you're on. Test. Oh, there you go. Hey, everybody. Okay, where was I? J slot for the track saws. Entry-level bridge saws, usually the sizes range 14 to 16 inch. The motors on the saws are anywhere from 12.5 to 20 horsepower. And feed rates are typically slower due to single speed. And guys with automated shops are using bigger saws, standard 20 horse, 16 to 20 inch blade diameter, and with the 20 horsepower motor, you can run the RPMs on the blades faster, so you can cut more. So some of the recommendations we make for our blades, our best-selling blade is the Direx Machete, and it outperforms 3-to-1 to the competition. Second place would be our Pearl Shadow blade, and the Pearl Shadow features a V-shaped segment that reduces friction when cutting, allowing the blade to move slightly faster through the cut and reduces glazing. The Pearl 5 reactor is produced with a similar bond of diamond as a machete, but it uses some graphite in the segment to reduce drag when cutting, and it also helps eliminate glazing of the cutting surface. Honorable mention is our Legend Cerebus, which was introduced in 2019. We started to get a good run, then COVID hit, but it's equipped with a 25 millimeter segment and slightly stronger core compared to the other blades, and the stronger core will reduce deflection in straight and miter cuts. Quartzite, which is a very hard material. Our number one blade is the Legend Cerebus. It's produced with a V-shaped segment that reduces friction and reduces glazing of the segment. The Legend blade is equipped with a 20 millimeter segment and a slightly stronger core compared to the Machete and Genesis. The Machete is our second best-selling blade. It's got a 20 millimeter V-groove segment, and the Genesis comes in third. It also is equipped with a 20 millimeter V-groove design segment. Decton and porcelain. So when Decton originally came out, we worked with Cosentino, as a lot of our manufacturer partners did as well, to find the best blade to cut that Decton. And I think after 5 or 6 years, we've got a good handle on exactly what will be the most cost-effective blade for a fabricator. Etel Demont is one of our partners, and they make a blade that's got a 9 millimeter segment, steel core for increased rigidity, and that allows it for decreased deflection. And we've tested all these blades in Spain at the Cosentino plant, and it was by far the best one that they tested. 10X also makes a nice blade. It's equipped with a 10 millimeter segment and steel core for increased rigidity that will decrease deflection. That was approved as well. And then ADI, who mainly makes CNC tools, has gotten into the game with the blade, and it does extremely well on 1/4 and 1/2 inch porcelain. It also comes with a 9 millimeter segment. So with every blade and saw, there are feed rates and speed rates and the RPMs. So it's a little formula, but based on the size of the blade, there's a RPM setting that we recommend, and we designate it between dark and white colors. And for straight cuts, that 36 to 42 or 28 to 32 should be a good production rate for you a minute. And for miter, it's 18 to 21. And it just basically outlines the different blades. But when you buy a blade from us, we have all the documentation so we know you're running it at the right feed rate and speed rate. And then these are our operating parameters as well for granite and quartz blades, the Machete, the Shadow, the Legend, and RPMs, and the feed rate. So the blades are really, really good, and they're got some good technical advancements, and they do a great job at helping get cuts done quickly. Some more operating parameters for our quartzite blades. Feed rate's about 48 to 84 inches a minute. RPMs are 1650 to 1800 or 1300. Just depends on what size blade you get, 14 inch through 20 inch. Okay, so the other factor in the blades is water. Obviously, you need a lot of water so you don't burn up the diamond segments on the blade. So we always try to tell customers it's a good idea to make sure the lock line end is pointing at the blade when it's in usage so it doesn't burn up. So the water flow should be directed at the area of the segment. When changing out blades, sometimes fabricators move the water supply out of the way, resulting in excessive heat tension issues. They move it out, they don't move it back in, and they can cause irreparable damage to the blade. And then on the miter cuts, we advise making sure the 45-degree angle, the flex hose, is pointed at the cutting surface and the blade. I know this seems like rudimentary, but trust me, I've seen a lot of stuff out there, and we're just trying to save you money on burning up a blade because you didn't have the right water location. So care and maintenance for blades. Out of the box, the blades are sharpened and properly tensioned, so you don't have to do anything with them. Your initial cut with a new blade should be eased into the material, especially porcelain and ultra-compact surfaces. If the blade becomes dull, you're going to know because your amp draw on the saw will reduce, and the blade may deflect within the cut, and you'll hear a different sound from the blade. You can resharpen it. You can use a scrap piece of quartz material. You want to decrease the depth of cut to 1/8 inch and increase your feed rate. And if you repeat this a couple of times, the new diamond will be exposed on the blade. And you can feel the new diamond with your fingernail when properly exposed. When you have broken segments on the blade, you should confirm the speed rate is reduced in the lead of the cut. And when you tighten the nut on the spindle, do not use the saw table to stop the blade from spinning. It's not a good idea. All right, so that's my spiel for the day. Any questions? We have a website you can visit. We have all the information on the website. If you got any questions, I'll be around. Happy to help you all. Thanks for coming by. Hope you enjoyed it.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Sorry, I just couldn't take that mic.
No, that's great. Thank you. Appreciate everybody's attendance. Here, we've got. Sorry, the next one is 315 stone identification and characteristics. So next one is going to be 315 stone identification and characteristics. Thank you very much. Any other questions before we adjourn?
And if you're not an ISFA member, are there any ISFA members here? One, okay. Yep. We suggest you take one of these on the way out. And
Fortunate to have Austin here with us. He's the president of ISFA this year. I think this year or last year? This year. And ISFA is one of the sponsors of this booth. So if you could take a few seconds and explain what ISFA is and what they do for us.
Sure. Hi, everybody. So president of ISFA. ISFA is International Surface Fabricators Association. So we are a group of industry partners, so both suppliers and fabricators that come together to share best practices, safety, like safety best practices for running your business, and overall we just have events for members to come together, roundtables, summits, and learn from each other and share knowledge. So encourage you to go to isfanow.com and or .org and check it out.
Perfect. And I know that you'll go to an event and you'll pull one little nugget away, and that little nugget will typically be worth that event and multiple, your travel and everything. Not only that, the networking that you get from those events is amazing. So yeah, ISFA. Another sponsor is Rockheads. They have a booth over here. A great organization to plug into as well. Again, both organizations, I would highly recommend you become and look into becoming members of both. They both are very, very valuable in what they do. Rockheads focuses a lot on the business development side of things. ISFA is an association that really promotes the fabricators and the collaboration. So great resources.
And NSI handles natural granite marble. ISFA is the governing body for all quartz, porcelain, ultra compact surfaces. So that's our specialty. Thank you.
A couple quick reminders. Tomorrow at 2:30 in the Natural Stone Institute booth, there's going to be a build your own install truck tour where they go around to the different installation vehicles and kind of get the best of building your install truck. I'd love to participate in that because that's something we all need. And then quick reminder on these does everybody get a card? Does it, so these cards, $2,500 drawing that's going to happen on Friday if you get all the stamps there. And then there's going to be Wednesday, tomorrow at 5:30 to 7. There's a happy hour put on by the Natural Stone Institute in N310 is where that one's at. Thank you. Any other questions before we adjourn? The next session here is going to be 3:15. 3:15 is the next session, and that is stone identification and characteristics. The last session for the day is going to be at 4 o'clock, and that's Quartzite Revisited. So working on quartzites, sealing them, working through any issues that we might have, because I know nobody has any issues with quartzite, right? But identifying what is a true quartzite, what's a sandstone, what type of sealers to use, what type of process is to use to cut and install the quartzite. So let's give a quick round of applause to Jim. Thank you very much.